Hi people, and this is just a video I want to do about the redress scheme for people who was involved in historic sex abuse. Now, I was actually involved in giving some evidence to this inquiry that's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. Now, it's very interesting because I was going to apply for a post here. And, the criteria was that you would get £390 per day and, people with some legal background and things like that could sit on this panel and make decisions about people who qualified for payouts that they had been subjected to horrific abuse. Key responsibilities, support the chair in ensuring proceeds are transparent and effectively managed. It'd be like sitting on a criminal injuries panel or a bit like a children's panel, I would imagine. The successful candidates will bring empathy and professional expertise from a range of areas, for example, in the fields of emotional and psychological trauma, law, social work, human rights and health. Individuals with an understanding of the Scottish care system, which I do in child development. I've got a background in child development as well. Or specialist knowledge of complex trauma, which I do work in the community or give back service, are particularly encouraged to apply. Now, the person who's running this very abusive scenario, the professional who's running it, is the ex-police chief to head redress body for survivors of historical sexual abuse. And here is this character here, and his name is John Gwinney, and he'll be on £590 per day. That's right, £590. Now you bear in mind, people, many years ago, people had to bring forward their horrific experiences and really reliving trauma in what they had been through in these establishments and very, very sick, evil acts that had been passed upon them, and the police closed the door on these people. Closed the door. Why would you have somebody running this charade that's an ex-chief assistant constable of Scotland? Because it's a Freemason handshake job. Now, when I read this article in the Scottish Daily Mail on Sunday, I just wasn't going to apply for this post. And I would be a pretty decent person, I would say, sitting on that panel, but I couldn't work beside the people, because my moral compass tells me that it's not right. These characters who's going to be sitting on this panel are going to be getting paid more than the victims. The victims have to re-traumatise themselves again and cap in hand to these people, and it'll all be palsy pals, Freemasons, Eastern Star, and it's all in the bag, who'll be overseeing this panel, and these people. I actually think it's disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, that, an ex-chief inspector, constable, whatever you want to call him, has got that post, because he's got his pension. He's got his pension, and he's now on £560 a day. I detest these people who ride off the backs of people's misery and trauma and most of the time they create it. You know, they create it. So, you know, when I looked at this and I thought, you know, this is a no-go for me. It's a no-go. I've worked in arenas and left them because I couldn't work alongside the people. I loved the characters I worked with, but the people I was working with, they were so toxic, you know. So just, and I seen there was something on Facebook about this. You know, I'm not on Facebook, but it came up when I was put it in the search engine as well. So this is just not acceptable, people. It's horrible. It's really, really horrible. You know, I was involved in an inquiry with Professor Kathleen Marshall about 15 years ago where we tried to, possibly more, my son's 25, so it was about 22 years ago, and David Cowan for STV News and things, and we tried to get the police involved in a care situation and allegations coming forward and things, and they were useless. They were useless. Absolutely useless. You ask any victim of trauma or abuse how helpful the police have been, and I would say that percentage is pretty low, you know. So once again, you know, and you know, I was just really saddened that, you know, we've got that disclosure as well about, once again, we're the highest country in Europe for substance abuse and drugs related deaths, you know. It's disgraceful. Honestly, it's really, really disgraceful. This is our parents, our brothers, our sisters, or, you know, this is not right. It's not right. You know, and I've been in this field for a long time and seen many people suffering, and these people just give it lip service, and it's just not right. $5.60 a day, $3.90 a day, you know. It's just, they should honestly hold their heads in shame, you know. And I don't really want to rant on anymore because it just, honestly, it disgusts me. Anyway, I'll leave it at that and just obviously have a nice night, people.